Happy Devil's Wednesday. This is the Woo Report. The Woo Report. The Morning Woo edition. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios. Somewhere in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. All right. Today's title, episode 367, titled Asking the Same Grant Marshall Questions. Now, asking the same questions, we're going to poke fun at the Philadelphia Flyers a little bit later and their social media stuff. But let's talk a little bit about Devils hockey. Some interesting article by James Nichols of New Jersey Hockey Now. Josh Philman, a guy that we've been talking about on this podcast in the last 18 months, could be a sleeper pick. Not from this past draft, but the draft before. Putting on the beef. Josh Philman, supposedly adding 10 to 15 pounds. Josh Philman, I believe a 6th-round pick in development camp right now for your New Jersey Devils. Looking like possibly the next Jesper Bratt. We shall see. High hopes for him. Also in the news as well, that Erik Karlsson could go to the Metropolitan Division, either the Pittsburgh Penguins or the Carolina Hurricanes. I know Vinny Parisi put out something about that on his social media account, I believe on his Twitter account, wanting Erik Karlsson to come into the Metropolitan Division because it's going to be a good one. And, yeah, I agree with that, Vinny, but I get what you're saying, but careful what you wish for, Vinny. I mean, come on. The Metropolitan Division is stacked. The competition is feast or famine. It's either you got it or you don't. Who's got it? The New Jersey Devils, the Carolina Hurricanes. Who doesn't? The Philadelphia Flyers. But I would not discount Danny Briere and Keith Jones. These are good hockey people. They're going through a rough time right now. The Philadelphia Flyers just seems like one bad thing after another, but they are going through a full rebuild, obviously, in Philadelphia. What happened yesterday, if you haven't heard? There's a Zoom interview going on, and somebody forgot to mute the mic and was criticizing a reporter for asking the same Grant Marshall question. And I got to tell you, anytime I watch these Zoom calls, you know I've been complaining for years now on this podcast about softball questions to the players or to the coaching staff or to the front office. Boy, if I was unmuted, see, this is why I do not, this is self-discipline, folks. This is why I do not request press credentials with the Devils, because I know something like that will happen and my big mouth will get me in trouble. But anyway. Max says you can discredit whoever that media member was. I don't know if my research, I did a brief research who that person was. It's a Penn State grad, so leave her alone. Let's see here. Max says, I heard Jack Hughes loves softball questions, especially if they ask the same question. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think questions should be hard. I think they should not be inflammatory, but they should make you think. And I'm just tired of the same old PR spinorama. Yeah, we like a question would be like, so, and I'm not going to name the reporter that would ask this question, but so how's your confidence level after winning 3 straight games? Well, the last 3 games we've been playing great hockey. We're putting the puck in the net. At the end of the day, it's about having more goals than the other team. But Michael says his heater quote in reference to Jack Hughes. Yeah, Jack Hughes is original, and Jack Hughes is very smart. He has this persona of being a laid back surfer dude type language, but Jack Hughes is very intelligent. He's got a high IQ. So if you ask him a dumb question, he's got a smart-ass remark back in a very non-inflammatory way. Gato and chill. What else has come out of it? The heater. Junkyard dog. He's got his Hughesms, Jack Hughes, which makes him Jack Hughes. He's an original. But I would like to hear tougher questions. Now, I'll give you an example. Big props. And this is going to make some people cringe. So if you're listening in the car, you're listening right now, and you're live, or it's on the recording, warning, this make you cringe a little bit. But I got to give props to Ryan Novozinski. Ryan Novozinski of NJ.com. Because when he asked that question, when last season, and the issue is not over yet, but last season, when Michael McLeod, fresh off the Canada hockey scandal, a lot of speculation. The first couple questions were just softball questions. So, how are you feeling going into this preseason? And then here's Ryan Novozinski asking the tough questions, even though Michael McLeod sidestepped it, which you would expect because of legal reasons. At least he asked the hard questions. How can you go to that press conference when that's on everyone's mind and still it's being dragged on till now? And not speculating what's going to happen, but I will say that Frank Saravalli put it out there that there's going to be there's going to be a conclusion to all this investigation going up in Hockey Canada. And, again, I hope the hard questions are going to be asked because they should be. As difficult as they are, as awkward as they are, if the reporter is doing their job, it should be asked. And I'll tell you, that you've got lot of, and I hate using this word, but I'm using this word, the C word, the word content, because I think the word is overused over the internet. Oh, look at Josh Philman content. Or look at this Jack Hughes content. But great content should be unfiltered, should be non-inflammatory, and should be intelligent. which I hope that's what we do here on the Let's Go Devils podcast. But one of my favorite broadcast teams is from the New York Mets, SNY. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Mets homer. I'm a diehard. But when you watch and you listen to their broadcasts, say what you want about the Wilpon family when they put this whole SNY and this broadcast team together. Say what you want. But the Wilpon family did get it right where you don't. They were avid listeners of WFAN. And they didn't want to take that away from the fans. When Gary Cohen, back in 2009, on the Mets SNY channel, was making comments about Bernie Madoff, really hard things that would really embarrass the ownership group, they were allowed to do that. They were allowed to be very critical of the team. Heck, they're critical of the team now. And that's the way content should be. And on this podcast, again, one of the reasons why at this moment we don't ask for press credentials is because we want to speak the truth and speak our minds about anything that's related to the Devils. Yeah, we have fun with it. We're kidding around at times. But some of the serious stuff, it has to get out there. It's original. It's authentic. We're being truthful. We're not hiding anything. There's no agenda here on this podcast other than we want to promote what's right about being a Devils fan. So, asking the same questions, I didn't have a problem with the question. It's nothing to get pissed off about, but my goodness, that was funny. What happened with the Flyers. Not funny to them. And then what's even, the irony of it is now Keith Jones is the president of the team, I guess, had to issue a statement. And it was the same Keith Jones that knows everything about hot mics when him and Jim Jackson in Philly, their mics were hot, and they were bashing Jacob Voracek. If you remember that incident, don't believe me, Google it. Jacob Voracek, Keith Jones, and Jim Jackson, hot mic. Google it, and you'll find the article on that back in 2019. Now, that was an embarrassing moment. And the things are getting worse for the Flyers, but, assure you that enjoy it now because I think they're ripping it down. I think they're going to do it the right way. By the way, Carter Hart, what are they going to do with Carter Hart? I'll tell you, it will never happen, but out of all the goalies that could work for Tom Fitzgerald's goalie surge, Carter Hart's AAV as of now and his potential for the next 5 to 7 years is very good. I mean, if the Devils could pull a trade for Carter Hart, that makes the most sense, except for the fact that they are rivals and they are in the same division. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Flyer fans will kill Danny Briere. And what would the Devils have to give up for Carter Hart? Remember, Carter Hart and Mackenzie Blackwood were going to be like the 1-2 rivals of this Metropolitan Division. Didn't work out for Mac Black now with San Jose. But yeah, I'll tell you. I would trade. Here's a trade proposal. I'll put this on Twitter later. I'm making it up right now. Trade proposal to the Flyers to get Carter Hart as a New Jersey Devil. Let's say 2026 second round pick, Let's see. Who else do we throw in there? Yeah, we got to throw in a mid-level player here. Well, we don't have Boquist anymore. I think we got rid of most of the dead weight. But how about a second-round pick? Oh, boy, I'm having trouble with this one. Who would you trade for Carter Hart? Yeah, second-round pick, Tyler Brennan, and a player. What player could go over to the Flyers? How about a Devil social media staff that knows how to mute the button on a Zoom call for Carter Hart? I don't know. I'll have to think this through. This is what happens when you're live on live air. Zach W. asks, do you think there's a chance for a Hellebuck? I think there's always a chance for a Hellebuck, but you're going to have to pay a hell of a lot, no pun intended. Steve Engel says we're not getting rid of Holtz. Stop already. I put out that tweet out there. I think Alexander Holtz is going to rip it up for the New Jersey Devils. I think he's going to break out. You know what? I think he may have a slow start, but he's going to break out. And he's going to find that golden touch. He's going to find that spot on the ice, and he's going to be money every single time. Alexander Holtz, he better. He better. But right now, that 2020 draft, Alexander Holtz is the weakest link. Dawson Mercer doing his job. Shakir Mohammadulin did his job. Devils got Timo Meier as a result. And if Alexander Holtz can put in 30 goals a season and be that sniper that Tommy wants him to be, Devils will be in good shape. Real good shape. I think it was Steve Engel that said that your wife was pissed that there was no morning woo a couple days. Yeah, it's called life, Steve Engel. But working on it, Steve. I've been pretty busy this summer. Preparing for this upcoming season. Just to give you folks a little bit of update, Shorts Guy and I have been conversing about our road trip out to Arizona on March 16th when the Devils are at the Mullet, play the Arizona Coyotes. And then the next day, March 17th, to Vegas to play the Vegas Golden Knights. We've been planning the trip because there's a lot of people involved. And we'll let you know where we're going to be because we're going to be podcasting outside the Mullet. We're going to be podcasting outside of T-Mobile Arena. And because of Amazon Prime Day, I was online shopping, preparing for buying the equipment to do this. It's not easy doing a live podcast on location. It's not, especially when you got to take this stuff on the plane. But we will do that. Also planning a trip to Tampa. Also, I got to talk to Andrew Bunin of Cocoa Beach, Florida, Sam Barr Sports Grill. That's right. Hopefully we can do another podcast there. Andrew Bunin, good friend of the podcast. Love the guy. Love his positivity. He texts me every once in a while with positive thoughts. He's living the dream down in Florida, being a Devils fan and living a dream in Florida, just watching spaceships going up to the sky. Michael says, come to Seattle. Actually, I have family in Seattle. I should call my cousins up and be like, yo, we're taking over your town. Yeah. I would love to go to Seattle. I would love to quit my job and just do this full time. That would be great. Well, that'd be great. Get that private jet going, follow the Devils around, just go around and just have fun. Blue Jackets in December. Selected Boy says, come to Orlando, Sam. Be saturated by Universal Studios. Don't know what you mean by that, Selected Boy, but yeah, I mean, that's if I were to go down to Tampa and see also Cocoa Beach, I would land in Orlando, one of my favorite airports. I fly Frontier Airlines, folks. It's the best. They want your. I hate United. I hate United so bad that I hate United. When it was Continental Airlines Arena, and it was Continental Airlines, I never had a problem. They were on time most of the times. They were courteous. You got plain food. It was the best. Yes, Delta is the best too. Anthony LePen agreed. But Continental Airlines was great. As soon as it turned into United, you saw the smiles on the stewardess' face go to frowns. Oh, I hate United. I mean, they can't even get it right. I mean, pets were dying in the freaking plane because they're stuffing them up and up top in storage. I don't know. I guess this is the morning woo. You never know what I'm going to say when I'm half asleep in the morning doing this podcast. But that's okay. That's okay. We're all Devils fans here. It's all jokes. Anthony LePen United is horrible. Of course it's horrible. It's horrible. And, all right. So a little plug. Go to pucksandpitchforks.com. Because tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we've got State of the Fan Address, presented by pucksandpitchforks.com. Nick Villano, editor-in-chief, and I will talk a little puck. I'm sure we'll have a guest. If we don't, we'll talk more puck. Yeah. And that's it. That's all I got. Anthony LePen says, hey, Sam, come to a Blue Jackets game. Meet your 5-year-old fan, Tori. Well, Tori, I would like to meet you as well. Now, the BJs, they live in Ohio State territory. So if I can kill two birds with one stone, this is how I would do it. If there was ever a time, Anthony, that Penn State's playing Ohio State on a Saturday and there's a Friday or a Sunday Devils game, I think I can make it work. It'd be a heck of a sports weekend, but I can make it work. I'm not a big Ohio State fan. Matter of fact, I hate them. But, you know, I'd rather be truthful about that. Big Penn State fan. Looking forward to college football coming up next month. I'm also looking forward to my vacation. Can't make promises, but I'm going to try to figure out how to do a podcast from the cruise. Don't know how that's going to work. Don't know if it can work, but I'll have to figure it out. Now, I could bring my Starlink internet, but I don't think Mrs. Wu would like me to have more check-in luggage than the average Joe going on this trip. But, yeah, Devils will be there in December. We'll be taking the family to that game. Boo, Ohio State. All right, I'll look on the schedule, Anthony. But, yeah. Brian L. says, Sam, what part of Jersey are you from? I'm from Taylor Ham Country. I hope that tells you where I'm from. Originally from Morris County, but now I can't disclose my location because we're in the bunker. If there's ever a nuclear holocaust, guess what? There'll be cockroaches. There'll be taxes And there will be the Let's Go Devils podcast. All right. I want to thank all those tuning in to this podcast, dropping in about 20 minutes while you're at work, trying to milk the clock. You listen to this podcast. Pretend like you're working. Thinking about what's going on in development camp. Thinking about what's going on with the goalie situation. Thinking about, could there be a big trade coming up? Anyway, I'll see you later. Brian L. says, fair enough, bro. I grew up in Washington, so when you mentioned going to Enzo's in H-Town, meaning Hackettstown, I was like, whoa. Yeah, well, go to Enzo's. I'm telling you, that's where George Washington hung out 250 years ago. If you don't believe me, ask Dino. But Brian, yeah, I think when we started doing these podcasts at Enzo's, the sentiment out Warren County, which I thought was interesting, was the Devils never come out this way. So that's why we kind of do that there. Plus, it's close to Beer Baron's house, with the kids and everything. So, hey, you know what? We can come to a bar near you. You never know. All right, getting out of here. Promise. Stay safe, everyone. This is the Morning Woo on the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.